And I apologize. I know I said I was going to come on at 9, but I'm tired. So I said I'm going to do it now. So the first book is called Wild Thoughts Vacation Series. That's the series Wild Thoughts Vacation. And the first book is called All of Me. And this is by Honesty Price. This is one of my new, like, might be a favorite author. So I'm just going to say that. I love the way that she writes. And I'll get into that in another video. But I enjoyed this first book. So the premise of this first book is that there is this young lady who is very privileged. Like her family is privileged. I would say like the black bourgeoisie. Her dad is he works for, I think he's a bank president if I recall. And her mom is a mother who is a southern genteel lady, and so she is on all the boards and things like that, and so she has a certain set of rules that she was supposed to live by. She did not live by these rules. Now her younger sister lived by these rules, but she did not. And it's not that she just didn't live by these rules, it was like she was just a person out to give her parents a heart attack because of the things that she did. And so she has been living almost like three separate people. She has Ivy, who is like the version of herself who she seems to enjoy the most, who is kind of like a mix between the two. She has Begonia Ivy, who is who her parents named her parents named her, and how she shows up as like this debutante in a way. And then you have Gogo. Gogo is the wild version of her. And they're like three separate different personalities that she has to contend with because she feels not she feels she's a people pleaser. She wants to please her parents and not give them any more grief because her father got her out of a lot of shit, like dangerous things that she got into until she realized like, yo, I am fucking up my life. And then she has a best friend who has rocked with her for forever, and her best friend is like, listen, I want you to get your life. I want you to get your shit together, and I'm going to be there for you, but I need you to do some other stuff. So she does have a degree in computer science, I believe, and she starts something which expands out into ways she didn't imagine. And so she has this group of women who are like a part of her go-go persona. And so with that go-go persona, she is like the face of bad and bougie and Meg the Stallion and all that wrapped up into one. But that's not who she truly is. That's a part of who she is, but not her real thing. And she also created an app. I want this app. I want this app so bad. Somebody please create this app. Like it's an app where you can go on and say, listen, I'm not looking for anything serious. I have a travel that I travel like if you're looking for a travel bag, if you're looking for someone to go to like a symphony, if you're looking for someone to do something with and you don't want to be in a relationship, this is your app. I need somebody to create this. And the other thing that they do with this app is one, they check your credit and then also they check your what is it? They do a background check, which I think is phenomenal. The credit thing could go either way, okay? As a black person and as I know about systematic racism and how credit was created, all that bullshit. But anyway, I digress. But the app itself allows you to put your information in, and let's say, for instance, you were going on a trip and you wanted to find someone who also wanted to go on that trip. You would put your information in, and then the app would find that person for you based on the questions that you answered. And then you two get to connect before you go on that trip. And then from there, you can decide on if you want to be together while you're on that trip. That is what happened in this story. She decided, well, not she, her friend decided for her that she was going to put her inside her own creation, her own app. Um, because she was like, you were dealing with this guy who is a part of your bourgeoisie clique, and he is a wannabe rapper, pretty much, and he is horrible, and they know he's horrible, but she doesn't want to like break up with him because she's like, I owe, our families have been together for forever, and our parents are like, y'all two are going to get married. Basically, it's already settled. And she's like, I don't want that, but she doesn't want to tell her parents no. Because, as I said, she has been living a life of like craziness, and her parents have done all they could do to keep her out of the news cycle, paying people off, helping her get rid of things that she don't want to get, if you know what I mean. Also, just putting her in a space where their money is allowing her to continue on her journey. And if she was anybody else, she would have been in jail a number of times. I'm talking about All of Me. This is a series, um, and this is the first book in the series. And this is the Wild Thoughts Vacation series. This is book one. And so in the book, she is like wild and crazy and loose. And now she's like, I want to be this version of myself. I'm a business owner. I'm making money. Women love me because I give them like this bad bitch persona. And I have um, like chapters in the DMV, and we go and we do things together, and I want to be like in that space, but I also want to be Ivy, who is a business owner, who is, a coder, who's doing all these things. And then you have Begonia Ivy, which is her other personality, where her parents have raised her to be this debutante, and she has demolished all thoughts of what that means for them. And so she now is like, I have to go to my sister's wedding. It's in Hawaii, and I can't take my boyfriend because he just got locked up, even though she knows that his parents are going to get him out because he's a part of her world, because he's a wannabe rapper. I don't, anyway. Then you have the main character, Male, who he has some challenges. One of his challenges is that he always chooses honesty. And it doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't matter if it's, I hate to say, a brutal truth. He's still going to tell you because he's like, once, I don't want to give a story right, but there was an incident and when he was beat up as a youngin, and that is why he always tells the truth. And so he takes that to like the extreme, and he will say things in the story where you're like, damn, you could have said that a little bit better. You could have said that in a different way. And he decides that he's going to get on this app because his sister is like, we plan a group trip, a couples group trip, and you don't have nobody to come on this trip with. So I'm going to call my homegirl to come with you. And he's like, don't call that homegirl because I gave that homegirl and that homegirl won't leave me alone. So no. And she's like, well, if you don't find somebody, I'm going to call her. I'm going to give her your key to your house and tell her that you are going to be, she's going to be in your house. And he's like, no, I'm going to find somebody. So he goes on the app that Ivy created. And when he goes on the app that Ivy created, he finds her. And he's like, wait a minute, this sounds like the creator of the app, because her friend, for some odd reason, didn't put an alias in. She actually put her friggin' name, which was weird to me. And so when she did that, she started a conversation with him. And those two were in a space where they got to know each other, and feelings and were exchanged. But he also realized that she's not a person who likes to tell truths, because again, she's been living this debutante life, and a part of that means that you are not the center of attention. You want to make everyone else feel like they're the center of attention. And so, of course, also because she is a woman, she has to dumb herself down for the people around her, like her mom did, like her sister sort of does. And so now you have this young lady who is like, I have three sides of me, and I really want to just focus on one. And he is like, I see what your problem is, and reads her the riot act. He gets upset, of course, but he's like, no, I told you I'm honest. I'm always going to be honest with you. And so they do connect in Hawaii, and it is love at first sight. But within that, she is very, very hesitant to introduce him to her people, even though they're there for her sister's wedding. And shit hits the fan because her family, especially her mother, is class. She's elitist. She's very elitist, and things go awry. And they are now dealing with, Ivy's dealing with her feelings for him. She's dealing with her feelings for her parents. And then guess who pops up but the ex-boyfriend, who's a wannabe rapper, but is a part of the bourgeoisie like her. I enjoyed this book. I enjoyed it because I thought that it was an interesting take on how when you have someone who is honest, and it's not that they mean to be honest in a way that is mean, they just want you to live in your truth because they live in their truth. And when they give you that space to do that, and you decide that, I can't do that because that's not how I was raised, and they're trying to like tell you about yourself in a way that's not harmful, but in a way that makes you like be like, oh shit. I love that. I love that he was able to give her that space to do that. Um, he did get his ass handed to him a couple times by his sister because of the way he said things. Excuse me, but I don't think that he said it in a way that was mean. I just think that she was not used to someone telling her, listen, you are living for other people and you're not living for yourself. And because of that, things are going crazy for you. Like you are afraid to talk to your parents. You are afraid to show up as your full realized self because you have been put in this box. And because of the things that you did in the past, you feel like you have to continuously give them the space to be this version of who they think you are instead of who you actually are now. So I thought that was awesome that he helped her see that and changed that part of herself to be better because she was a very accomplished person, but because she kept living in the shadow of what happened, it was a clusterfuck. So that is Wild Thoughts Vacation Series. This is book one, All of Me, and this is the book right here. All right, now I read part two, and as I said, Honesty Price was the author of this first version of the series. Now, the second book is called Summer in the Sunset. This is Wild Thoughts Vacation Series book number two, and this is by M.T. Dixon. So this is the second part of this series. I didn't care for this book. I didn't care for this book for a few reasons. One of the reasons why I didn't care for this book is this is the second book where Ivy in the first book had a best friend named Alicia, I think her name was, and she was her ride or die. Like she was always there for her. She was kind of like her sister. Now, Alicia has gone through a very tragic thing with her partner. And because of that, she has kind of like set herself back. She doesn't want to kind of move forward. She just wants to be in this space. And her friend Ivy, who was in the first book, and her sister are kind of like trying to get her to move out of that space. And she is very, very, very reluctant. So reluctant that she cusses them out. She tells them about themselves. She puts them out of her space. Like she does not want to move forward because she's still in a period of grief. It's only been a year in the book where she's lost her significant other. And so she's trying to navigate this while creating this phenomenal business from scratch and just working through life and how that feels for her. And she's put everything, her work, her blood, her sweat, her tears into this business because she doesn't want to have to deal with the grief of her ex, not ex, I'm sorry, he's not an ex, of losing someone that she loved deeply in a spiritual level. And so in this book, you also have the main character, male, who I didn't care for him at all. But he is someone who has dealt with some past things when it comes to having addictions to sex, and he also has dealt with death because he lost his dad at a young age, and he also is very intelligent. Like he works for Google in this book. He has a smart house that he created. Like he, for a lack of a better term, he's 6'5". He's a big guy. He's in shape, like 8-pack, all that shit. Like he has everything going for him. He's attractive, right? And he makes phenomenal money. And he owns his own house in DC. So on paper, he looks good. And he's still in this kind of weird space himself. And so he has a frat brother who I hate it. I ain't gonna lie. His frat brother is someone who He doesn't respect women at all. He calls women bitches throughout the book. Like everybody is a bitch in this book with his fat brother. And he it's weird because the main character male says that this frat brother who's younger than him by like 2 years is he's the mentor for this boy or man, and he also says that he is like his twin or something like that. And I'm like, that's interesting because he doesn't respect women at all, like their space or anything. There's a section in the book where he actually meets the main character female. He actually meets Alicia in a club at Park. Shout out to DC for Park. And he goes up to her. They're dancing and he grabs her arm and she's like, okay, that's enough. Like, I'm finna go. And he won't let her go. And she has to cuss him out and he calls her a bitch. And so this is the person that he's saying, the main character male, is saying that this is his mini like version of him. And I'm just my mind was working. Is like, okay, you have this side character who doesn't respect women, who calls women bitches, who only thinks of women as objects. And this is who you are saying is your mini me. This is your mentee. This is the one that you like are connected with. It was weird. He knows that the main character male, I keep saying main character male, I need to remember his name again. Oh my goodness. What is his name? His name is shit. It's not even in here. What is his name? This is wild. Hold on, y'all. I gotta remember what his damn name is. I know her name is Alicia. Um, and why can I not remember his name? Let me see. Nope, that's the sister. Her sister is her best friend. Um, he calls him D. D is his name. I think his name is like Derek or something like that. I don't know why I can't remember his name. I just finished reading this afternoon. That's crazy. I'm gonna call him D because I can't remember his whole full name is. So D, who's the main character male, um, he is dealing with his own shit, and he has not had a vacation. And so his friend, the one that thinks women are nothing but what's between their legs, why I can know his name is Chance because I just saw his name. It's Chance. He decides that he is like, okay, I'm going to plan a trip for all of the guys because he's a Q. He's like, I'm going to plan a trip for all of us. And I want you to go with us. We're going to DR. And he's like, okay. He's like, I don't know if I want to go with y'all because I know how y'all get. You want to be out there freaking everybody. He's like, no, come on, we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a good time. So he does. He tells him, okay, we're going to go to the airport and I need you to be there at this time. And then I'll meet you there. Everything is paid for. Everything is paid for. On the other side of that, Alicia is like, okay, her best friend is like, I set you up on my app. You should be able to find someone and don't worry about it. She doesn't want to do that because, again, she's still grieving the loss of her significant other. Alicia is like, y'all gonna leave me alone. I cussed you out already, I'll cuss you out again. And her friend and her sister are like, we're gonna do this for you because we want you to get back to this vibrant version of yourself that was lost when your almost fiance was lost. And so they set her up on a trip to Cancun to a resort. This resort is an adults only resort where anything goes. She did not know that. They put her in to the plane. Of course, she has first class. She gets to the resort. She thinks everything is cool. She's like, oh, this is a beautiful place. Look at the architecture. Oh my goodness. Like, this is so nice. D also gets to the resort. He, first of all, wants to cuss out his friend because he thought they were going on a group trip. His friend's like, no, I paid all inclusive for you to go on a trip to Cancun. Everything is paid for. You just have to go. So he's like, when I get back, I'm going to bust your ass, but I'm going to go on this trip because it's all paid in full. When he gets there, he's like, oh, this is amazing. This is beautiful. His space gets upgraded. And he's like, yes, this is the best thing that happens. I'm going to take a nap. I'm tired. So the problem is that when Alicia gets there, she looks around and she realizes like, this is a nice place, but something is off. And she realizes this is like a resort where anything goes. It's like a hedonism, but in Cancun. And she goes off She calls her sister, she calls her friend, and goes off because she's like, what the fuck do y'all have me in? This is not what I signed up for. I didn't sign up for any of this, first of all, but why would you do this to me? Why would you put me in this position? Why would you put me in this place? And so they do. And she is like, okay, I am going to get in this space and I'm going to go up to this room because y'all paid for it, but I better not have nothing else happen. When she goes into the room, guess who she sees? D is laying sleep on the bed. So what does she do? She slaps the shit out of him. Out of him, just slaps him. Mind you, she is about, I think like 5'4", 5'3". He is 6'4", 6'5". But she ain't never scared. And she's like, we finna go downstairs and we finna figure out what the hell happened in this room. And they learn that their friends have put them in the same room based on the app. And they have to stay there because there are no other hotels that can offer them any space because it's a full book season. And so they decide that they're going to stay together. He says, I'll take the couch. You can take the bed. Mind you, the bed is a king size bed, whatever. During the book, the way that they interact with each other is very interesting because emotional regulation was not happening with this gentleman at all. It just was not. When he got upset, I will say the same thing for her because she slapped the shit out of him, not knowing who he was, and it's a 6'5" man, and she slapped the shit out of him. So I mean, I can say the same thing for her, and tempers. But I will say the book kind of caught me off guard for a few reasons. One, because if his friend, if Dee's friend knew that he had a problem, a bad problem, like a problem so bad that he was going into debt to go into sex clubs, and because he needed to have sex like 4 or 5 times a day and racking up credit card bills, why would he allow him to put himself into a space where he went to a hedonism type resort? That didn't make sense to me. Like, this is your friend, this is your protege, and he puts you in a position to have to fight what you call your demons. That didn't make sense. The other thing that was interesting is that Alicia didn't want to talk to her friends about her grief, but she spoke to this man that she hadn't known for less than a few hours at that point, maybe 24 hours, about her grief. I thought that was really interesting. There was also a point where he got mad, and instead of expressing why he was mad, he just let it go. He did come back and apologize, which I did appreciate, is that she made him wait when he apologized. I've read so many books where the main character male will do some like ridiculous shit and the woman will take him back immediately. You need to make him grovel, make him beg a little bit, like give him something. In this book, I felt like she did that, and then they were able to get back together. But then he skedaddled. He skedaddled when something happened at the end of the book, and so that was really weird to me. But overall, the first one was my favorite. The second one I could have done without. It was just too many like misogynistic things happening in there. It was just not what the first book, I guess, set me up for. And I understand this was a different author, but I felt like it just, I don't know, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But this book and this series is called come on. Okay, this series again is called Wild Thoughts Vacation Series. All of Me was the first book by Honesty Price. So that's the first book, All of Me, Honesty Price. And then the second book, and I think they have a third one. I'm damn sure, pretty sure they have a third one. I feel like I saw it. And it's by, the third one is by this same author, M.T. Dixon. And this one is Summer in the Sunset, Wild Thoughts Vacation Series. And this is book number 2. I, as always, say read books, read them, because you never know if you like them or not. I will say I love the first one. The second one, I didn't really care for it too much, but that's just me personally. But these are both on Kindle Unlimited. Definitely get them because we like to support girls with their coins too. So if you can afford it, go ahead and buy it. If not, if you're Kindle Unlimited, get it on Kindle Unlimited. But I did like, the first one, as I said. All right. I hope that you enjoy this. If you do decide to read it, please let me know which one is your favorite.